For this fire that took place in the Canyon Crest area within the city of Riverside, basically we have a wildland urban interface in this residential neighborhood where we had immediate structures threatened. So today we're going to review the safety officer position responsibilities for this incident. When Engine 9 received this call, they were dispatched to a structure fire with a full first alarm structure assignment. Once they arrived on scene, they found it was a vegetation fire. So as a safety officer, one of our first priorities is to evaluate the PPEs that are worn for this incident. It was a hot day, elevated temperatures, low humidity. Crews did engage and they were in full PPEs due to the immediate structures that were threatened. So one of the first things as a priority as a safety officer is we wanted to relay to the IC to pull those crews back once we had a chance, let them dress down, quick rehab, and get in the proper PPEs. That includes wildland with a proper wildland helmet with a shroud. So that was one of our problems that we found on this incident as a safety officer, and we just relayed that to the IC, and that was taken care of shortly within the incident. The origin of the fire was directly behind the residential structures right off of Boulder Creek. The head of the fire was moving towards the structures on the Division Alpha side, and the immediate structure threat was the structures in Division A. Very minor spotting, but it was a hot day, it was low humidity, so with the small amount of winds, we wanted resources to provide structure defense at the head of the fire in Division A. When we're identifying access, escape routes, and safety zones as a safety officer, have your safety officers go down a driveway like this ahead of the apparatus during an incident where you're going to provide structure defense. There's no need for apparatus to back down a driveway if there's turnaround points identified by a safety officer where they can access going forward for safety issues. One of the safety issues we encountered on this incident as a safety officer is this wooden bridge. In a wildland fire, you want to make sure your escape routes and your safety zones are identified. First of all, is the bridge going to burn? Is it going to be here when you go to return? So that's one incident, well, that's one issue that we encountered here with the wooden bridge. The other thing is the weight limit for this bridge. If you do the math, it comes out to be 40,000 pounds. That is right at the limit for our fire apparatus. So as a safety officer, the bridge was taped, no access until we confirm that it was safe to utilize this bridge. When we say company officers own their district, company officers should know if this bridge in their district can be utilized for fire apparatus. We contact the first in company officer on Engine 9. He gave us the okay that this bridge has been tested and it was built for fire apparatus to use to access these homes. Another priority that we check for as safety officers for the safety of our crews is water supply. If they come across this bridge and they're protecting these structures, do they have an adequate, uninterrupted water supply for this incident? There's only one hydrant that was identified in this area. We relayed that to the incident commander, who relayed that to all divisions and all division group supervisors for this incident. So we did have an uninterrupted water supply. The next thing we wanted to really check into was our communications. We found out that there was no cell phone service in this area. Once you come in this area of the bridge, this real thick vegetation fire, for the command staff, it's very important to relay that cell phone service is not an option in this area. So we did a check on our command channel and our tactical frequency. Our radios were working fine, but we did relay the hazard of no cell phone service. As the safety officers continue to check the area, we determined that every structure here is defensible. So as we talk about access points to these structures and escape routes, we want to make sure that these large security gates or front entrance gates are not going to close on our personnel once they access the driveways. Some of them have Knox keys, others don't. So as a safety officer, we came through the area, the owners were here, and we asked them to make sure all their gates are opened and they remain open throughout the incident.